Hey guys, we're back with the Eden of Grisaia. We're on the angelic howl scene, right? It's been it's a couple days. Hold on, how long has it been? I think it's been like 2 weeks, right? Haven't done Grisaia since the last angelic howl. I remember I stopped. I think I got a phone call, so I stopped in the middle of it. Here, videos. 1 week ago, I uploaded part 20. Let's see the date. July 8th. Oh, it's the 19th now. It's been 11 days. I got really into Valhalla. I finished it. Like I got the ending, but I'm still gonna like. I guess I'm not gonna 100% it because I'm practically gonna 100% it. Let's say that. Lookie's tone of voice was cheerful, even carefree. The rest of us were stunned into silence. I think I'd never been at such an utter loss for words before. Her abdomen was bleeding profusely even as we spoke. Anyone could see at a glance that there's simply nothing to be done. Ah, the classic.
なんで勝手に死んじゃうんです？全然意味わかんないし、先に死んじゃうとか、これってずるくないですか？ねえ、先輩いなくなっちゃったら、私明日から誰に髪を切ってもらえばいいんですか？
I assume things are about to go from bad to very bad. Because, I mean, everyone except for Amane and I guess Kazuki died there, you know? Naturally, Sakuma-senpai didn't respond. She no longer could.
だから言ったじゃないですか。仙人なんて最後はみんないいように利用されて死んじゃうんですよ。だから仙人なんか嫌いなんですよ。私は。
What's with their mouth? Okay, so you see, those are her lips, and that's her mouth. That's not how that works. Turning her attention from Sakuma's wound, Ibuki now looked around the clearing. Suddenly spotted Captain Sakashida standing frozen with a bloody knife in her hand. Ibuki's dreamy expression vanished in an instant as her face contorted with rage. Screaming like a madwoman, she pulled a pair of scissors in her skirt pocket. What is she, Senjuka Haya? Charged at Captain Sakashida and stabbed them into her. Well, I guess those staplers rather than scissors, but you know. Who carries around a pair of sharp scissors? Like, generally the, you know, scissors that you use in school and such, they're like, you know, not sharp. You get what I mean. Like, you can't stab someone with a pair of scissors you'd normally use at school. With a raspy little gurgle, Sakashida fell to the ground, blood trickling from her mouth. Do I have to click again, or is it just letting me stare at the canopy? Overcome by anger and grief, Buki pushed Sakashida into the dirt, straddled her, stabbed the scissors into her body again and again. Whenever Buki's bangs grew long enough to be bothersome, Sakuma had cut them for her. Scissors she used for that purpose were now covered in blood. Even as she screamed, even as she wept, Buki didn't stop plunging the bloody scissors into Sakashida's body. Every blow was an expression of her hatred for the cruel and vicious world in which we lived. Oh, hey, teacher. I was about to say teacher Bro, but he's not really, you don't call some guy who murders and eats people a bro, you know? It's at this moment that Mr. Ochi finally arrived at the clearing. Sight of this horrifying spectacle, stopped dead in his tracks. A place that was already as hellish as this, what's the point of murdering each other? It didn't make any sense. Mr. Ochi moved at pure reflex, thinking only that he had to stop the brutal assault that was taking place. Looking quickly around the area, he grabbed a volleyball-sized rock from the ground with both hands, lifted it up, and brought it down violently on Ibuki's head. The heavy thunk, the rock caved in Ibuki's skull. I shouldn't be laughing. I don't know why I am, but I am. I'm sorry. The impact knocked her head down between her shoulders. She slid off Sakashida and fell off her side, still clutching the scissors in her hand. Why is she laughing? Like you said, Grisaia. The disaster had unfolded in what felt like an instant, before we could even try to prevent it. Koid-senpai fell on her backside and lost control of her bladder, fragile mind finally broken. All color drained from the world, leaving only ugly shades of gray. Everything was warped, everything was twisted. No one could keep the madness from spreading. Buki's lifeless eyes were fixed resentfully at Mr. Ochi. Even now that she was unconscious, they glittered in the moonlight, as if burning with unspeakable hatred. Faced with the consequences of his impulsive emotional actions, Mr. Ochi stood stock still, his face full of shock and horror. Yeah, this is great stuff. Canada, is that Canada? Did I make that joke last time? Her cruel, deranged laughter forced its way through our ears and echoed inside our minds. We're past the point of no return. As that fact finally sank in, Mr. Ochi's legs gave out beneath him. I like to think that he's gotten involved in women's fights, as he put it before. He ended up accidentally, taking a volleyball-sized rock and smashing a woman's head in with it. It happens to him on, weekly basis. Every word he spoke, Ochi's body tilted further to the side. Perhaps he was trying to stay upright as the world lurched around him. Can't take this anymore. What does any of it even matter? What's the point of living through all this suffering? Ochi's job was to serve as an example for his students, to offer them hope as they struggled through the anxieties of youth. Over the years, he began to hold something like pride in his occupation. But now that he crossed this final line, that thin strand of strength gave way. He was left with nothing. And yet, it didn't matter if everyone had given up. It didn't matter how desperate our situation had become. I was going to do everything I could, no matter what. Spent years teaching my brother to do the same, after all. Might die in this place, but I wasn't going to die a hypocrite. Hurrying to Captain Sakashida's side, desperately applied pressure to her wounds. With only the use of my right hand, I couldn't possibly stop the bleeding from all of Sakashida's countless wounds. Called for help, but Koid-senpai's fear had given way to despair. She didn't even move. Sakashida's voice was raspy and faint. As if to refuse my attempts at treatment, she reached up and grasped my arm. Sakashida responded to this rather inept attempt at encouragement by shaking her head slowly. Is this flashback being told to Yuji? I forget. Why had it come to this? None of it was anyone's fault. So, how did everything gone so wrong? An unanswerable question echoed heavily in all of our hearts. Sakuma Minori died from shock and massive blood loss as the result of a laceration on her abdomen. It's pronounced laceration, right? Haruna Ibuki suffered an open depressed skull fracture as the result of a blow to her head. 2 hours later, she died from cerebral contusion. Wait, it took her 2 hours to die? Sakashita Shiaki had numerous puncture wounds all over her body. Fortunately, the weapon she'd been stabbed with was a pair of craft scissors, so the lacerations were fairly shallow. She stitched up her wounds, but her loss of blood left her in critical condition. Canada Saya received a broken nose as a result of the blow to her face. By pushing my little finger into her nose, I repositioned the broken bone from within, then filled her nostrils with cotton to prevent further bleeding. Sorry, Kazami Kazuki, the course of punching Canada Saya in the face, managed to completely break my partially fractured left arm. After setting the bone myself, fixed it in position using a wooden splint. By now, the only uninjured member of the group were Koichi and our teacher, Ochi Yoshihiko. Neither of them are in particularly good shape either, of course. Somewhat surprisingly, Koichi proved to be more mentally stable of the two. I suppose her ability to adapt to her environment made her somewhat resilient in the face of adversity. About an hour after the incident, she stopped staring blankly into space and asked me if there's anything she could do to help. By the time we completed emergency first aid, carried the wounded back to their tents, the sun was already rising. The verge of unconsciousness, Captain Sakashita told me the location of the food she'd hidden away, left its management in my hands. Wasn't everything on, like, the verge of, like, not on the verge, it's just in the process of falling apart? Why is it, like, you get what I mean, right? Like, when Angelical ended, this is Angelical Denouement, right? Yeah, Denouement? Anyway. Let's look it up. Denouement or Denouement?
Denouement.
Denouement? Pardon me? What is this, French? That's exactly what she's gonna do. After briefly crouching down and grabbing her head, Canada-senpai suddenly arched her neck backwards and began rubbing the back of her skull against the ground. This bizarre outburst certainly didn't seem to be some kind of ploy to distract us from the food. I'm not a doctor, but I'm like 50% sure that if you just kill her, she won't be in pain. Sorry, that's the best joke I could think of. It was bad. Looked as if she was instinctively trying to lower the position of her head. I think she was trying to find a position that would lessen her acne somewhat, or her movements were involuntary. There was something badly wrong with her head. Skoid held Canada's convulsing body still, reached into her nostrils, and pulled out the cotton and stuffed in them. As soon as I unblocked her nose, a large amount of blood began to flow from it. Took the sock and pressed it into Canada-senpai's nose. Nosebleed showed no signs of stopping. The stain that appeared on the sock was red at the center. Its outer edges were a little yellow. What's coming out of her nose? There are all sorts of illnesses that could cause those symptoms, but given that she'd been in a bus accident overall. Who? Was that the girl whose legs broke? On the day of the accident itself, Grisaia-senpai had suffered a fracture in the base of her skull. While she was conscious immediately afterwards, she rolled herself into a ball, moaning while clenching at her head, just like Canada was doing now. She died 10 minutes later. Grisaia-senpai, blood from both her ears and her nose, probably died as a result of damage to her skull. That's right, Canada would suffer the same fate.
すみません、金田先輩。おそらくはバス転落時の頭部損傷の時点で何らかのトラブルを抱えていたんだとは思いますが、私が顔面を殴ってとどめを刺してしまったようです。そっか、それも仕方ないよね。で、私いつ死ぬのかな。わかりません。10分後に死んでしまう可能性もありますし、感染症さえ起こさなければ自然に治る可能性もあります。どうせ死ぬなら早く死んで、さっさと楽になりたいな。まだ諦めないでください。ねえ、風見。私。
She picked it all to get the right guys. Of course.
そうおっしゃるだろうと思って、今小出さんにお米を炊いてもらっています。とは言っても、埋められていたクーラーボックスから出てきたお米は2合程度です。お腹いっぱいってわけにはいきませんが、最後の食事としては上等かな。まずは薄いおかゆから体をなじませていきましょう。せっかくだし普通に炊いたご飯がいい。もう何日もまともな食事をしていません。固形物を急にたくさん食べると消化不良を起こしますよ。そういうもの？消化能力が落ちているので、食べても胃が受け付けずに吐き戻してしまいます。戦時中には物資輸送を断たれて食料に貧困した島から撤退した兵隊が、軍医が止めるのも聞かずに隠れて食事を大食いして何人も死んだそうですよ。
Wonder if something like that actually happened. Huh.
そんな死に方は苦しいだろうな。ですから少しずつ慣らしていきましょう。もうすぐおかゆが炊き上がるはずです。そういえば小出遅いね。あいつ一人で全部食っちゃってるんじゃないよね。小出さんにも同じように消化不良の話はしましたし、そうですね。他の人たちも気になりますし。
Is everyone going to be dead? Even in a situation like this, one to believe that we still had some shred of rationality left. Koide left an was an unusually cowardly young woman. I'd assumed that telling her you'll die if you eat to keep her from doing anything reckless. It was a naive assumption on my part. Found a primitive cooking furnace rebuilt for piling up stones, found Koide lying on the ground with her arms around her stomach. Beside there's a single metal mess kit, full of steaming white rice that looked freshly cooked. Most likely, the processes of cleaning and cooking the precious food we discovered in that cooler had been too much for her to bear. As soon as the fluffy white rice was ready, she shoveled handfuls into her mouth, then to have her weakened digestive system inject to it. So, does that actually happen? I I don't know how the digestive system works.
だからあれほど警告したのに。
There's blood in the vomit leaving her
テン
mouth.
トまで運んであげたいけれど、腕を骨折していてそれもできないの。ごめんなさい。自分の足で立ち上がってテントまで行きなさい。
From the look of things, your stomach wouldn't be capable of accepting anything at all for some time. We could hook her up to an IV drip, things might be different. Given her already weakened state, it looked like a potentially fatal problem. Picking up the mess kit with the ice Koide had prepared, headed for the tent where Captain Sakashida was lying. Our prompt first aids efforts had apparently been effective. With blood pressure had recovered, she had regained consciousness. Placed the mess kit next to Sakashida's pillow and gave her a brief update on everyone's condition. She listened quietly, offering only brief responses.
ということは、もう立って歩けるのはあなたと先生だけになってしまったわね。私もいつまで持つかはわかりません。
I was still lucid for now, but breaking my left arm had completely led to intermittent fevers. If my body lost the ability to generate those fevers, I might very well lose consciousness and never wake up again.
もう現状で頼りになるのは越智先生だけですが、その先生は一人にしてくれと言ったきり、一度も姿を見かけていません。きっと彼はお墓にいるわ。あの人は一人にしてはダメよ。私に彼を止めろと。心配ないわ。お墓にいると言っても、あなたが危惧しているような現場に遭遇するようなことは。わかりました。様子を見に行ってきます。お願いするわ。この飯盒は置いていきます。おかゆですから食べられるようなら食べてください。私はいいわ。あなたが食べなさい。別に私の分をあなたにあげると言っているわけじゃありません。私の分はちゃんと別に用意してあります。おそらくは最後の食事になるでしょう。どうせ私はもうすぐ死ぬわ。すぐに死ぬ人間に与える食事は制限なさいと言っているのよ。動ける人間の食事を増やしたところで、結局は限られた食料をただ消費するだけの現状です。すべてを食べ尽くしてしまえば全員死にます。であれば、たとえすぐに死ぬと分かっている傷病者であっても、食事は平等であるべきだと私は思います。そう。こんな状況でも意見は。
Oh yeah, Kazuki's never gone.
あなたは。
She's a genius after all.
分かったわ。でも今はとても眠いの。後で目を覚ました時に。お大事に。
How exactly was she supposed to take care of herself under those circumstances? If you'd asked me, I wouldn't have been able to reply. Still, the fact that she could hold a coherent conversation was a positive sign. She probably wanted to die for another 2 days or so. At this point, I was keeping a running count of how long everyone had to live, as if I was some angel of death. How many days had passed since the incident anyway? I couldn't remember off the top of my head. The question was beginning to feel pointless. Pushing my way through the thick undergrowth, I followed the barely visible trail that led to the burial ground Amani and I had visited last night. Or the gravesite, as Sakashida called it. Given that we had all ended up here sooner or later, the idea of paying it a visit wasn't particularly appealing. In my weakened state, the slight uphill slope proved a tedious challenge. Eventually, the uphill path came to an end. A level clearing came into view. As I drew closer, I could hear the sound of someone digging with a shovel. Of course, the responsible party was Mr. Oji. His shirt was plastered to the back with sweat. After glancing briefly in my direction, he turned back to his digging without meeting my gaze. In a sense, it seemed rather impressive that he still had the energy to be digging holes. But then again, when your accumulated fatigue passes a certain threshold, Roddy sometimes grows numb to the fact that it's exhausted. This place, chosen as a burial ground simply because the ground was somewhat softer, 5 graves had already been dug. Of course, there are nothing but simple unmarked mounds of earth. The main purpose was to prevent infection, not to memorialize the dead. 5 mounds of earth, 5 graves. Lying in the grass next to Ochi was digging a new hole where the bodies of Sakuma Minori and Ibuki Haruna.
わざわざ運んできたのですか?
放置しておくわけにもいかんだろう。
The 2 corpses, stretched out next to each other, were already surrounded by a swarm of flies. If we left them exposed, they would be infested with maggots within a day. As they grounded, the bodies would become hotbeds of disease, potentially harming those of the still living. 2 of them have placed quite carefully in the grass. Their hands are folded in front of their chests. Had Mr. Ochi done that? Sakuma Minori had died from a stab to the gut. Haruna Ibuki had died from a blow to the head. Right now, there were no trace of pain or bitterness in their faces.
何か用があってきたんだろう。
はい。食事をお持ちしました。それと状況の報告を。
At this, Ochi paused in his labors and turned to stare at me. Suppose it would be more accurate to say that he was staring at the mesket in my hands. He spoke with 2 quiet words. Then stuck his shovel on the ground and accepted the food from me. Finding a spot in the shade of a rock wall, Ochi sat down with his back against it, silently opening the mesket and eat the thin gruel, flavored only with a pinch of salt.
では、どこからお話ししましょうか?
As my words left my mouth, Ochi visibly flinched. Perhaps he was bracing himself for a torrent of condemnation, and reproach. Instead, I summarized the condition of the wounded, briefed him on our current food supply. Every word I spoke concerned the present. I didn't lament the past, criticize the choices we made. I didn't express my fear of the future, or ask him how he might survive this horrible situation. I spoke of the present, nothing else. Mr. Gochi, for his part, listened silently as he ate, saying nothing at all. Eventually, after his metal spoon had repeatedly scraped against the bottom of his mesket, Ochi appeared at last, somewhat sated. Looking up at me, he murmured a few quiet words.
君は俺を恨んでいるだろうね。
人を恨んだところで事態は好転しません。
僕が全部悪いんだ。渋滞を嫌って予定にない道を選んだのも俺だ。どうしても空腹には逆らえなかった。頭では分かっていてもどうすることもできない。だから俺は最低の行為を繰り返した。でもある日、それを坂下に見られてしまったんだ。俺はね、坂下に頬を張られたよ。だけど彼女はその後怒鳴り散らすでもなく、ただ無言で涙を流して、きっと坂下の喉からは恥を知りなさいって言葉が俺はもう頭の中がぐちゃぐちゃになって、情けなくて恥ずかしくて、いい年をした大人の男が年はもゆかない女の子の足にしがみついて、何度も何度も許してくれって。どうしようもないことだと分かっていてもどうすることもできなかった。誰にもどうすることもできなかったんだ。だから坂下のことは恨まないでやってほしい。
どうして今そんな話を？
どうせもう誰も助からない。この世の終わりの先にあの世があるかどうかなんて俺にもわからないけれど、俺の行く先は地獄と呼ばれるような場所だろう。だったらせめて坂下は悪くなかったと、あいつは立派な部長だったのだと、ただそれだけのエゴだよ。
There's no need to be worried about any of that. Once you're dead, everything's over. If anything, we should be concerning ourselves with the effect that rumors were going to have on the families we leave behind. Also, I didn't hate Captain Sakashita nearly as much as people seem to think. In fact, I actually identified with her in some respects, particularly the way she'd arbitrarily branded as a cold person. Most people formed their opinions of her solely on that basis, instead of trying to understand her. Even if they're simple schools clubs, organizations of any size always need a scary person or two. By playing that role, she maintained order on the team. She could be excessively harsh on the other team members. To some degree, that's part of presenting herself as a leader. And in time, she'd come to understand that her role came with real responsibility. I'll take responsibility. Speaking those words had clearly been satisfying for her, but they also added to the weight of bearing down on her shoulders. In the last few days, a possibly heavy burden had thrown itself at her feet, weeping and begging. All she had broken under unspeakable stress. It would have been impossible to confront him with words alone. She had probably chosen to directly accept his desperate lust for survival, the only way she could. When I tried to imagine Sakashida's emotional state at the time, I felt genuine sympathy for her. And of course, once the dam was broken, she was simply borne along by the flood like everyone else. However, if the truth of what happened here ever became public, she was through. The pity and scorn of strangers would haunt her for the rest of her life. Under those circumstances, it was a small wonder that she'd seen my attempt to escape with Amane as unforgivable. Her irritation at the more freewheeling members of the team was similarly understandable. Once her emotions reached the boiling point, she had been unable to tolerate Sakuma-senpai and her apparent irresponsibility. No matter what the circumstances, things Sakashida had done were unforgivable, and even so, I had a certain respect for her. I believe that there's kindness in her heart. I certainly didn't want to be her friend, but if she had ever been placed on trial for her crimes, I would willingly have testified for her defense. This seems like it's going to go on for at least another 10, maybe 20 minutes, so I'm going to call it there. I'll see you guys next time with more Grisaia. Bye.